Hi, I'm Paul Kilian, and I'm going to talk for a minute about the strategic plan. This began back in fall of 2013. We had meetings with all the folks in the congregation who wanted to participate, hundreds and hundreds it seemed like. And they expressed their concerns for the congregation, the things they'd like to see, the things they thought weren't doing well, and so on and so on. And a 25-person committee spent almost a year consolidating all that and coming up with what they thought were particular elements that were addressable, let's put it that way, things we could do something about. And so ultimately we formed what we called the point persons, and that was people to be in charge of each of the 7 strategic initiatives. And I'm simply going to walk through those and tell you a little bit about each one so you get the overview of who we are. And let me just say that we're sort of an independent body that meets with the rector and responsible to the vestry. And we address particular issues that the church felt were critical. And we spend our meetings reporting out what's going on in our areas, and there's a lot of cross-pollination as together we discuss what we can do and what we can't do. So, strategic initiative number 1, one of the big priorities that the congregation wanted to address was our program for children and youth. Over the years, Julie Kennedy has been our point person for that. Recently, Kari Stewart has taken it on, and she is engaged in building a tremendous program with people like Gabe on staff, along with Taylor and Annie Thornburg and others. Our children's program is continuing to blossom. Over the years, the Committee for Strategic Initiative 1 has looked at curriculum, looked at recruitment efforts, and so on, anything that would enrich the program in which the staff and lay people can become involved to support. Strategic initiative number 2 is parishioner involvement, adult spiritual formation. Originally, Sharon Crandall led this. For many years, Kit Schenk has led it, and this involves things like our Sunday morning forums. And incidentally, you may have noticed that Kit is looking for a committee of folks who want to participate in helping to come up with topics and presentations and so on. Also, the small classes, the spiritual element, the things like the quiet days and so on, all fall under this. Number 3 is parishioner involvement outreach ministries. Joanna Corey had led that for a while, but the COVID kind of shut us down and we're not doing a lot there, so that's a little bit fallow at the moment. Number 4, parishioner involvement fellowship. Rex Potenkin is our point person for this, and he's in charge of things like the circles, the fellowship circles. The coffee hour will be getting going eventually between services, providing meals for special events, and when we have men's and women's barbecues and so on, that will be under his aegis. Number 5 is welcoming newcomers. Julie Kennedy is handling that now. And this is the whole plethora of things we want to do to make visitors feel welcome. From the materials that they get, to encouraging us to meet with folks in the patio, to designing certain programs that will enfold them into the congregation. Strategic initiative number 6 is communications coordination. And at the time that this was being established back in early 2015, the church communication situation was pretty dire, pretty random, pretty fragmented. It's a lot different now with Hannah here. But Ed Anderson is the one that heads that committee and meets with us. And communications has everything to do with not the bulletin so much, but which you see on Sunday morning, but our outreach into the community, the signage around campus, coordinating other events and the flyers therefore, and so on and so on. Number 7, strategic edition 7, is our Chinese ministry. Catherine Feng is the point person for that. She works obviously closely with Father Thomas. It has been our premise from the beginning. We do not have an English congregation and a Mandarin congregation. We have a Church of Our Savior congregation, some of whom speak English, some of whom speak Mandarin. And one of our ultimate goals down the line as language improves is more interaction. And so the Chinese worshipers do a lot of things which you may not know much about. They're much more involved in the community than some of us actually. They actually have some of their services broadcast over in China. That's the kind of reach that they have, and they're doing exciting things. Number 8, strategic 8, is the senior saints. Bev Harris has been doing what the SAGES program, which is essentially a luncheon for seniors, although all are welcome. And of course, with the COVID, that's not been possible to do. And she also is involved in sending out notes to shut-ins and so on. And Kit Schenk is also part of that, assembling a team of seniors to help. The lay weeders, for example, is part of what she's doing. Other ways, we're going to be hopefully getting activities for seniors and so on in the future. And the last one, strategic number 9, is the annual giving stewardship. Dennis Dooling is the person in charge of that, and that's something that will be kicking off in October, run through November, and you'll be hearing more about that then. So that's an overview of who we are and what we do. We meet monthly. We spend a lot of energy trying to put our fingers into the programs to make them work for the input we get from the people from the congregation. Thanks for listening.